Okay, y'all, we're just going to go over some current events that have come out since the Charlottesville incident. Ladies and gentlemen, this is leaving a horrible stain on Trump's presidency and the country. You know, this went out worldwide. And see, this is how America was shamed into getting rid of Jim Crow back in the day. It went out worldwide, and they got heavily criticized for the way they were treating Black people in this country during Jim Crow. Plus, during that time, America was trying to become a superpower, and they knew they could never be a superpower as long as they were practicing Jim Crow at home. Believe me, these folks did not end Jim Crow out of the kindness of their heart. They could never be a superpower as long as Jim Crow was in place, so they had to get rid of it. Well, everything in Charlottesville is bringing all of that back to the surface. And the world is now seeing that America has not progressed as far as race is concerned. Is literally, and we've known this as Black people, we know this. It's been stuck in a quagmire since its inception with racism. Nothing has changed. You know, you got to be careful talking to some of these pro-Trump people. The thing they're trying to say is, and I saw this in a few videos that I was looking at this morning, they're trying to say racism started with Obama. Now, we know that's laughable. We could pick up their Constitution alone and debunk that. So, I mean, it just go to show you the level of desperation these people are feeling right now. And I said it before, and many of us have been saying this. Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. I know, I kind of sprung this up on you, so I am glad you're here. The thing is, this is something they can't just easily erase. I even had somebody post in my comment, you left out Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter did not kill no damn body. Those cops that were up in that helicopter was not there to monitor Black Lives Matter. So they can't get rid of this stain no matter how hard they try. But one of the things I want to do is show you a lot of the headlines that are out here this morning. You can tell this is really impacting them bad. They can't even change the subject like they want to change it. It's just so much happening in the country. I knew this was going to be a real interesting week. That's why I wanted to at least get past Monday just to see, because I knew the talk was going to be about Charlottesville. It's still about Charlottesville and the poor job Trump has done on his speech. It has really showed his white supremacist hand as president. And he is so frustrated. He left out of Washington, D.C. He's back up in New York for the entire week. For the entire week, he's in New York, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you some of the articles that came out this morning. It's just so many that I just decided to do one big live stream about it. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. All right, can everybody see my screen? Just say yes if you can see it. Can everybody see the screen? Oh yeah, go get your cup of coffee. Go get it. All right, everybody. All right. All right. Now, since this event has happened, they have actually stepped up the removal of all of these Confederate statues across the country. So you can see how that one incident is now a snowball. It has the snowball effect, of everything that's going on. So the monuments are coming down. Quite a few of them actually came down yesterday across the country. So this Charlottesville event has actually accelerated it. So, and I'm sure the white supremacists, they don't like this one bit. This is what they were fighting against. Okay, so this is what they were fighting against, but now it kind of had the boomerang effect on them, and they're tearing down these statues faster than ever across the country. And I'll leave the links to all of these articles after we're done with the live stream. That way you can go through them yourself and read them. Another thing, the police in Charlottesville is under a lot of fire for what happened. And we know just from observing a lot of the past protests, they'll just stand back when the protesters are white. And they'll let them fight. They can fight and throw things at each other and hit each other and pull out a pepper spray, and the cops just stand there and do nothing. Well, I think they took doing nothing a bit too far in Charlottesville, because people got killed, and you also had all of the injuries from the car ramming into the crowd. So the cops are now under a lot of heat for not gaining control over the protests, which probably will lead to them being a lot more proactive with that crowd, even if it's a white crowd in the future. This one protest is probably going to change everything for these white supremacists out here now. Whenever they take to the streets, it's never going to be the same for them again. So now the cops are under a lot of heat in Charlotte. Trump. People are criticizing Trump because he took too long to make a statement on Saturday. And when he did, he didn't call anyone out. It took him Monday to call out a few groups. He still didn't call out all the groups that were there, but it took him until Monday to do it. Exactly. They are protective of those Confederate statues, Marquise. Okay. Now, after Trump's very weak statement on Saturday, one of the few African-American CEOs of Merck decided to resign from his group that Trump had put together. Trump took to Twitter not even a half hour after this man resigned and put him on blast on Twitter. But he took hours and hours and hours to speak up about Charlottesville, and there was a fatality there. They were fatalities, and he took forever to speak up about that. And people are calling Trump out about this as well. The one black CEO that was on his panel resigned. He put him on blast. He didn't waste no time going to Twitter and putting this man on blast. And everybody was saying, why didn't you respond this quickly to Charlottesville? And not to mention all the times he went against his own people in the White House, and like Jeff Sessions and James Comey. Okay, he went on Twitter and put them on blast for days after days. But good morning, Cosmic Light. But this black CEO resigned. He didn't waste no time tearing him down on Twitter. Didn't waste no time. He was upset because of the way Trump gave that speech on Saturday. And as an African American man, he couldn't just sit there and ignore that. I have to give him a lot more respect for at least recognizing it and stepping away from that mess. Look at how many black cops in this country will see a black person get gunned down. And sometimes they are right there when the white cop is gunning down one of us. How many of them step away? Good morning, CK Nelson. How many of them step away after they see that? Not many. Many of them will get up and do that job again. Good morning, Cosmic Light. Good to see you. Yeah, MGTOW 5513, they are knocking over statues. People ain't wasting no time. They're getting those statues down. Okay, so this whole thing in Charlottesville seems to be backfiring on them right now. You know, they thought they had Trump in their pocket, but here's the problem. They don't have the rest of the nation in their pocket. That's the problem. Good morning, Yadesta. Oh, hi, Wheel Gun Fanboy. Don't be jealous. Okay, so now Trump immediately puts on blast an African American CEO on Twitter after he quit his panel. All right, so now people are also calling Trump the president of the red states. President of the red states. And he's still being questioned by the press. Hi, Michelle. Good morning to you. People are still questioning Trump on why such a big delay on Saturday and why didn't he give Monday's speech on Saturday, and he just stormed away mad. So hey, you know, it's still happening. So he's still sore about it. I think that's why he got his ass out of Washington, D.C. and went back to New York. But they said the protesters are out around Trump Tower in New York. So he's not getting too far away from what he's done. All right. So Trump acts like the president of the red states of the United States. I tell you what, I call him the great divider. So far, I have never seen a president that's only been in office for 6 months that has divided the country as much as him. Woo, man. I mean, this is something else. This man has done nothing. He's done more harm than good to this country, and he's only been in office for 6 months. That's it. Good morning, Angel Henry. 6 months. It feels like he's been in office for 4 years already. I think we're all worn out. Unbelievable. All right, here's another article that it was a retweet going out all over Twitter calling him a fascist. So, you know, I think all of this was getting to Trump. That's why he had to get out of DC. I really do. He's a traitor. Yeah, you know, you can't be president. And even if you don't like all sides, but, you know, America is a melting pot, but not in a good way. You know, everybody is so divided. Hi, Tareen. I did see you out there, and I just want to make sure I say hello to you. Trump, I think, just did not anticipate the backlash. I think the backlash from Saturday has taken him by surprise. Hi, Cortez Miller. I think that it just took him. Oh, I don't know where the radical home goddess is. You know, even if she's not here, hopefully she'll be able to watch this, you know, after I post it. I think he is stunned by the backlash from the country. I don't think he saw this coming, not only from the country, but within his own party, and people in his own cabinet are criticizing him for that speech on Saturday, talking about this was hate on many sides. No, it was one dude in that car that mowed down that girl and killed her, that 32-year-old woman, and killed her. That was not no all sides. So he really missed the mark. And to be honest with you, and this is just my opinion, you can tell me what you think. I don't think Trump is going to bounce back from this one. People are never going to let him forget this. Presidents are supposed to be a healing factor whenever a tragedy hits their country. Trump didn't heal the country at all. Nothing that he said Saturday or Monday. Yeah, I think he thought Hillary was going to get it. But, with the help of Russia, he was able to get in. You know what? Fit, Fierce, and Over 50, I think you're right. I really think you're right. I think I'm seeing the bigger picture in this whole thing. He really is not going to bounce back from this. Yeah, Melania gave a statement a lot quicker, and her statement was more powerful than Trump's. Go figure that. Your statement is more powerful than the president of the United States. That's pretty bad. Good morning, Saria. And yeah, this is a black eye. I really don't think he's going to overcome this, y'all. You can tell me what you think, but I really don't think he's going to ever live down how he reacted. Boy, and I thought George W. Bush was stupid, but even his reaction was better than this after 9/11. I mean, it really was. Yeah, America has always been a mess. It's always been a very chaotic place. And racism has always been in the forefront of everything about this country. And as you can see, it's going to implode on racism. Racism is going to be the thing it's going to completely implode on. He's not blaming her for her own death, Cortez Miller, but he is trying to say everybody had something to do with it, instead of saying the white supremacists had something to do with her death. And then they're trying to separate this guy. They have him photographed with the other white supremacists that were there. Unite the Right, he was with them. But you know how they always try to play that, oh, you want to blame the whole group over one person. Yes, just like we can blame the whole group for all the centuries of racism. Yes, we can. Yeah, Yadesta, you're right. I'm starting to see that now. She said, yeah, George is a genius compared to 45. Compared, yeah, you got something right there. Yeah, but Russia did not want Hillary, Michelle. They did not want Hillary. And that's why they sabotaged the election, just to make sure she wouldn't get in there. Okay, and another thing that's happening, y'all, people went on Twitter and they start identifying people in the crowd on the Unite the Right side, and they're now getting fired from their jobs. Quite a few of them have been fired. They are putting their names, and some of them know the name of the companies they work for, and they are now getting fired. Oh, thank you for being here, Yadesta. It's good to have you here. And people, so they're asking people, if you know who these alt-right people are in the crowd, start putting their names out on Twitter, and so that somebody will see it and hope, and they get fired from their job. So they are getting fired, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it look like this rally is going to knock them down for a while. They're not going to bounce back quickly after this one. Now, on 9/11, the alt-right,
I think white people
were actually planning a rally at Texas A&M. It was canceled. It was canceled. So they are not going to have this rally at all. You know what? There's a video here. I want to, it's Richard Spencer. I'm going to go ahead and play this.
So I think white people do need to talk about their whiteness more, and we're here doing it.
We're here to talk about white privilege. We want to bring it back, make white privilege great again.
So you're a fan of white privilite?
Oh yeah.
And what do you love about white privilege?
Oh, it looks great. Like, the people are good looking, and nice suits, great literature. Like, yeah, I just want to bathe in white privilege. The greatest, most awesome thing.
It's working out for you.
Well, yeah, I want to expand white privilege. We live in a world where every spring, Google and Facebook and Apple release these diversity numbers, and they'll be like, it's amazing, guys, we hired less white men this year. We think that it's inherently wonderful for white people to have less power. Oh, that's great. Oh, I'm glad. I hope the new James Bond is going to be a black guy. That would be great for the world.
Is that a real big deal though? If James Bond's a black guy, is that really do you care?
For me, yeah, that might be it.
That's too much?
It's too much.
I mean,
is it me, or does this guy sound a tad bit lethargic when he speaks? Yeah, y'all kill me with that bitchard, Spencer. Every time I see that, it makes me laugh. Oh my God. When I saw that for the first time, I cracked up laughing. Bitchard. Okay. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out what was taken from white people. Do any of you know what was taken? They keep saying this, take our country back. What was taken from them? Yeah, yeah, you're going to see a lot of people stepping down and getting fired this week. Like I said, it was a lot of people taken to Twitter calling folks out that was in that alt-right crowd. And I think one of them was assistant professor over at the University of Virginia, from what I understand, and they fired him. Yeah, Cortez Miller, you're right. He ran at the very beginning of Saturday's rally. He did. Okay. Oh, Melania. Okay, CK. I see that. You're running out of popcorn. I know. Everything is happening so fast. America really is Babylon, Egypt, Sodom, and Gomorrah all rolled up into one. It really is. You're right, Black Lady of Chaos and Havoc. The drugs have really beaten the hell out of the white race. It really has. They are not bouncing back from that at all. They're not. But see, I don't understand, Goddess Be Love. I don't understand why. They've been in control since the inception of this country. Take the country back from who? Who got the country? No, Pookie Bear 97. I did not see that picture of Mitch McConnell in front of the Confederate flag, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by anything the Republican Party does. Yeah, it is cosmic light. It really is. They are going down fast. And I think something like this going out to the world. See, America is a powerful nation militarily. I will give them that. But when it comes down to social issues, America gets an F. Socially, America has let the everybody in the whole world know where they are weak. And they are weak on a social level because they could never overcome racism, and they kept practicing white supremacy all throughout the century. And they let the entire world know exactly where they're weak. Do you know at this point in time how easy it would be to come in and attack America when the country is so divided? You won't see it coming. Do you know this is what other countries be observing? They're trying to see when you're weak and then come in on you. And see, that's why their fragility also makes them look stupid. Your enemy is watching your every move. They're studying you. They know where you're weak. They know you're weak when it comes down to drugs. They know you're weak when it comes down to racism. They know you got a very volatile president in office, and racially, your country has never been united. It's always been very divided. Good morning, T. Waters. Yeah, white fragility, Jessica Allison. Absolutely right. Yeah. TT Chan's 99, you're right. We right now, we look stupid to the entire world. Yeah, people are looking where America's weak. America's not favored in the world anymore. Back in the day when America became a superpower and start building up their nuclear arsenal and their military, America was looking strong to the world. But to be honest with you, I think America has not looked strong to the world for the last several years. With the police shootings going worldwide, and you have the mainstream media that's always putting out all this propaganda material, and they sound like an apartheid media, and then, they made mockery of Obama and Michelle and even Sasha Malia the entire time, all the racism, remember the watermelons on the White House lawn and putting them in monkey face and all that stuff. And now every time there's a violent protest in America, this stuff is just not nationwide. This is going out to the entire world. Yeah. Thank you, Saria Yisrael. Thank you. Shalom. This is going out worldwide, y'all. So every time they do this, I think they feel like, it's only just here. No. I saw a whole interview on Al Jazeera News, and it was also on the BBC. It's going out worldwide. Everybody is seeing what's going on in America. And this is where coup d'etats take place in different countries all over the world, when they see you're weak from within. Okay. All right, Saria Israel. Thank you so much, sister. Good morning, Cap. Good to see you. And that's the biggest problem with America. They've let everybody on the earth see that they're weak from within, which makes you a big target. They better give us our reparations, Emma. I hear you, girl. Hey, it's prophesied in the Bible. We won't be leaving out of here broke, girl. We won't be leaving broke. Trump tried to assassinate Kim Jong. I wouldn't be surprised. I think we're going to be hearing from Kim Jong-un real soon. I don't think he's going to stay silent for too long. Shalom, Ferguson Factor 710. I see you out there. Yes, Tito, I see your post, and you're right. Tito Tremble, I see that. Yes, I do. I believe, I'm not one of those people that throw the Bible to the side and I don't believe it. I do believe in it. I am a Hebrew. I occasionally will, bring it up here and there. But, I know that there are a lot of our people that dismiss many things. They don't believe it. All I can say is that's on them. He gives us free reign to believe in him or dismiss him. That's all I got to say about that. We all have to know that everybody is not going to be saved. Even I had to get past that. I was even grieving that my family may not all make it. I had tears. I was crying tears over that because I just want all of my family to make it. But I realized that that's not going to always be possible. And it's not going to be possible in many of the people that we deal with every day. We may favor even people online, but if they don't believe in the Most High, there's not very much we can do about that. Yeah, America has never... The thing is, it didn't have to go this far, Black Lady of Chaos and Havoc, if America would have at least, if nothing else, would have given Black people that 40 acres and a mule. I don't believe we would be dealing with the turmoil that we're looking at right now. If they would have just, when they let Black people off of the plantations, because we're still in slavery, what they should have done was give everybody, as they promised, 40 acres and a mule. They wouldn't even be dealing with a fraction of what they're dealing with today. Gave the 40 acres and a mule and left Black people the hell alone. All would have been fine. Yes. The eclipse is August 21st. And I'm hearing so many different things about that. Some of the Hebrews are saying, y'all get outside, the Israelites get outside and just get a glimpse of that eclipse and take it in. Well, the sun is good for us anyway. So I strongly urge every Black person to enjoy the rays of the sun every day if you can. It's pretty cloudy here in New Jersey today, so I can't enjoy it. But right where I have my computer, the sun comes right in the window. So, and I do get outside, but I feel the rays of the sun every day, and I love it. I love it. And you know what? Another thing, y'all, they are no longer in a position to criticize Black people when they're marching in the streets. They're not in any position to be bringing up Chicago, Black on Black crime, Black Lives Matter, and all that stuff. But they're still trying, though. But they really can't go nowhere with those arguments anymore. Number one, Black Lives Matter you know, I don't agree with marching, but one thing, they are not turning and fighting other Black people out in the streets. Number two, there have been no fatalities at the hands of other Black people during any of our marches. Their their riots, because they're all riots, they're all fighting in the street, it's all riots. They're tearing up property. Not only are they breaking windows and setting things on fire and fighting each other in the streets, they got fatalities. They got fatalities, ladies and gentlemen. So they are in no position to criticize Black people on any level about what we do out in the streets of America. Yeah, I've been keeping up with his videos. I actually went to a couple of his Facebook lives. Dawa Yisrael. I went to a few of his Facebook lives. So I've been kind of keeping up with him. You know, I want to interview him one day, you know, maybe do a live stream and I'll interview him, but I haven't caught up to him yet. So once I do, I'm going to see if I can do a one-on-one interview with him. It'd be nice to, you know, hear what's going on with him. And the Dawa Classics, that is him. So if you have not joined his new channel, please make sure you do. Let me just put it in here. Dawa's, I believe it's Dawa's Classics. And then you can go out there and make sure you join his channel because he does have another one up. Yeah, I think it would be great. You know, I want to start interviewing people, and that way, you know, you just kind of give it a little more flavor. So do I, Angel Henry. I do love him too. Yeah, I'm going to be taking questions when I interview Dawa, yes, because I'm going to do it on Blog Talk Radio. So, you know, and there'll be a call-in number if you want to call in and just ask him questions yourself. Yeah, he is funny. I do agree with that. Well, the way they're dying out, we may be getting it back sooner than you think. You know, Trump is turning out to be the great destroyer. He is really turning out to be the great destroyer to America. I'm still trying to figure out what white people are oppressed over. I mean, does their protest make any sense to you? Take our country back? Well, who took it from you? Yeah, the great destroyer. That's him. Like I said, I just find it very put this on the screen. I just find it interesting how we have President Trump in office. How we have Trump in office, and you know, as soon as he picked Pence, the first thing I thought about was Revelation, trumpets. You know how close that sounds? No, they're not oppressed. That's why I'm like, every time they talk about taking the country back, well, who got your country? Because as long as I've been here, they've been the one dominating everything. So who got your country? Yes. And Jessica Allison, you are so right about that. They can destroy from many levels, from food and, like, you know, the water and they are literally being destroyed by the drugs. But they'll spend their time being mad at Black people, and they are literally being brought down by drugs. We aren't making those drugs, and we are not the ones bringing the drugs to them in the white community. So their anger is misplaced as usual. Hello, Douglas, Jesse. Oh, Shannon, Robbie, the tables have already turned. Yeah, but you see, it's backfiring on them. I wouldn't be surprised about that cosmic light that they moved up the hand on the doomsday clock. Yeah. Everything is just happening so fast now. Well, you know what, Lala 324, it's not going to do them any good. What is that going to do for them, their lack of reproducing themselves? It's not going to do anything for them. Everything they're doing is not going to help their reproduction. It's not helping at all. And then and recently I saw a white woman put a post about Black women having babies. I said, and I wrote back and I said, well, how do you have your next generation without babies? Please explain this to all of us. And of course, she didn't reply to me at all. Because of lack of education and degree. Yeah, many of them are not educated. Believe me, it was not the highest of educated whites on the street out there in Charlottesville. Thank you, Doug Jesse. Yeah, I mean, they're in a lot of trouble, y'all. They are in a lot of trouble. And this is why you see them acting out so much over the edge. But they're really doing the wrong thing. If they were really smart, and I'm just saying, if this was happening to us, we would have no choice but to separate ourselves until we build ourselves back up. They're not even trying. I think they just don't know what to do at this point. But it really doesn't matter, because even their own scientists, I had a troll tell me they aren't because they have a high IQ. No, that's not why. It's genetics. That's why, because it's happening all over the world. It's not like it's happening in America and nowhere else. It's happening to them worldwide, which means exactly just glowing. It is a plague. It is a plague right out of the Bible. It is a plague. They are getting hit with all the plagues that we were told they would be hit with in the last days, and we are seeing those plagues. Right, but see, they're trying to go down fighting, and it's not going to do them any good. Hey, they called our babies crack babies and crack houses. Don't you remember that? Do you know Tashi D? There is an opioid addicted baby born every 25 minutes in America. Every 25 minutes. No, water sniper, you know what? The Most High has hit them with the kind of things they can't bounce back from. Everything that's on them now, they can't bounce back from none of it. Opioid beast. Good one, Syria. I mean, even their scientists said if they start having babies now, they would still never catch up to the other groups that did not have any problems reproducing. They would never catch up at this point. Can you repeat those numbers? They only gained 5,000 people between 2015 and 2016. That was their only gain in population here in America. That's it. The rest of us gained a few million. They gained 5,000. Believe me, they know these numbers. They know. This is why they're acting so over the edge towards everyone now. Well, the word kid actually describes what goats have. Goats actually have kids. That's where that word came from. 5,000. That's it. That was all. You can find the articles. I did a video on it. You can find the articles online. The only thing they produced in one whole year was 5,000 people. It is deeply serious for them. Not to mention, like I said before, the baby boomers is the last largest group among them within the white race. And those people are elderly now. Those are the old ones you're looking at now. So you have the young and old, the young from the drugs and the old just from dying out of old age, dying simultaneously. Oh, in parts of Europe, cosmic light, they are in the negative. That's why they're upset with all the migrants from Africa and the Muslim nations coming there and invading them. Is really nothing they can do about it because they can't reproduce. The word kid comes from goats. That's where they got it from. But, you know, and if you look at the Bible, our children were always called, they were always called children. The Most High never referred to our babies and our young ones as kids. They were always referred to in the biblical text as children. Well, it's going to be a lot happening to them. Well, Emma, you bring up a good point. A lot of them are landing in jail because of the drug addiction is leading them to crime. So they are ending up ultimately in jail. Well, it's really pointless for them to race mix only because they have such a recessive gene. It washes them out completely, no matter who they mate with. Thank you, Water Sniper. You know, it's kind of pointless for them to race mix. It's really not going to leave much of a mark on this planet. Everybody's genes from other groups just completely dominate them. Well, they think they're making it difficult for us, Ada, but you're right. You're absolutely right. Right. You know, the traps and snares they set for everybody else is now entrapping them. Exactly right. Yeah, when they have babies with Asians, the babies damn near look like full Asians. Exactly, Ada. You know, this whole world is going to go right back into its normal balance. Everything is out of balance right now. It's chaotic. It's been chaotic since they've been in charge. The entire world has been in chaos. It has never been a peaceful moment since they've been in charge. You can't point to one century, not one century, or even one decade, or even one year where we had peace in America. It has never been peaceful since these people been in charge. Yeah, you know, but like I said, she was the racist I saw, she was criticizing black women, talking about some babies and welfare and all that stuff. And I was like, well, how are you going to go on as a race without babies? That's how you have the next generation. You got to have babies. Okay. You can criticize all the other groups all you want. If your ass ain't having babies, you ain't going to be around much longer. You know, Nathan, you bring a good point. You just brought something to my mind, your post. Do you know Charlottesville? You saw all that fighting and carrying on in the streets, right? And this is part of the reason why the police are being criticized. They only arrested 3 people. That's it. And they were fighting in the street. It should have been a lot of them grabbed and arrested. Well, yeah, you know, they're doing a lot of things. They're going Cosmic Light, they're going over to East Germany for surrogate mothers to carry the baby. So that tells you right there it's genetic. And that's been on the rise. They've been going over there like crazy, paying those Eastern European women to carry their babies. And they've also, well, trying to get the African women to carry the babies for them. Yeah. And I can tell it's true. I don't know about y'all. Maybe it depends on what part of the country you're in. Around me, I hardly see a pregnant white woman. I hardly see any. You know, maybe it depends on where you live. But I know around me, in fact, I don't even go out and see too many white women with toddlers. I really don't see that hardly anymore. You know, maybe some of you have, you know, like I said, maybe it depends on where you live. But here in New Jersey, where I am, whenever I see a few that do have kids, they're always teenagers. But back when I had my son, I mean, I used to see so many women out pushing strollers, and or they were pregnant, or you would see them walking with their toddlers or holding their toddlers. I don't see that anymore. I don't see it nowhere near as I did years ago. You know, I wouldn't want to do it either, but that's why they're going to poor places where the women really need the money, like Eastern Europe, you know, the Eastern Europeans, they're not exactly the richest people. Yeah, the fertility clinics were for them. Absolutely. You know what, Just Glowing? They chose a career in money over motherhood. A lot of them did. And many of them that want babies now, they're like in their 30s and 40s trying to have a baby, and they just can't do it. And really that, you know, they used to always tell women, oh, after 35, you shouldn't try to get pregnant and you have all these problems. No, that's them. In Africa, those women have babies all the way into their 60s. They don't stop at 35. There are many women, you can look at pictures online and you see a much older woman holding a little baby. That's her baby. That's not her grandchild. That's her baby. Those African women, they have babies all the way up through their 60s. The age of 35, that's for them. After 35, they have a real tough time getting pregnant and having babies. That's for them. I mean, look even in the Bible, it talked about older women having babies. Every woman that had a baby in biblical times were not always young women. A lot of them were older women too. Yeah, my grandmother had babies all the way into her 40s. She had her first one at 16. She had 10. She had her first one at 16 and had her last one in her 40s. And didn't lose one. All of them were live births. Yeah, a lot of Black women don't seem to have that problem. Yes, 70 in India. Yeah. And like I said, when you go online, you'll see many Black women in the motherland. They're in their 60s and they got babies. And, before I would look at those pictures of them holding babies and I thought, okay, maybe that's their grandchild. No, that's their baby. That's their baby. Oh my goodness, we got a real guest in the house, the true royal family. Good morning, Queen. Yeah, it's genetic. Brown sugar baby. It's definitely genetic because it's worldwide. That's the only thing that makes sense. Like I said, if it was just happening in one country, I would agree with that. I would say, okay, maybe it's something going on in America. This stuff is going on worldwide with them. It doesn't matter where they are in the world, the birth rate is low. Yeah, you got to come back on and start doing your videos. I know you were going through some issues, but you need to get back on and keep it real like you used to. Ah, good morning, sister. Good morning. Okay. Now, there's a little more I want to tell you. I know we kind of got into the birth rate thing. Good morning. Good morning, all of the people coming in right now. Good morning to you all. Now, another thing that's happening to the alt-right, they're losing not only their websites, but they're also they lost PayPal. Actually, PayPal banned them probably about 2 weeks ago. And they also lost the You Caring, GoFundMe, Patreon. Them and all the people associated with the alt-right are now losing their accounts. So more happening. Oh, great. Good. Then you've been keeping up with everything going on, true royal family. And now you know, they're losing all of their accounts. And they said this really ticked them off. They got real pissed off about losing all of their accounts with PayPal, GoFundMe, Patreon. Now, I know they set up Patreon, but, you know, since the Charlotte riot, they're stepping up, banning them all over the place, all over social media now. And last but not least, Daily Stormer has lost their website. GoDaddy banned them. And then they went to Google, and shortly after they went to Google, Google banned them. So they're not on the Google site at all. When I woke up this morning, I tried to pull up their page and nothing came up. They are gone. Yeah, I lost my pimp hand. Well, you need to get it back now. You got a lot of things to hit out here, Queen. There's a lot going on. You can grow a new pimp hand now. So it looked like the Daily Stormer, and they're saying other neo-Nazi sites have been banned. But we know they'll crop up with new ones. But for now, they are banned. And what got them banned? They went online and posted a very nasty article about the Heather Heyer, the one white woman, a 32-year-old white woman that was killed. They wrote a real nasty article about her, and shortly after that, they were banned. The website got taken down. I don't know why they used the word genocide too. They claim that Cosmic Light, they're claiming that integration is their genocide. I don't get it, but okay. But this is what they're claiming. To me, their genocide looks very self-inflicted. I don't see anybody genociding them other than themselves. Yeah, the organizer of Daily Stormer lives in Nigeria. Now, I was shocked when I found that out. Oh, good. They found the person that hacked your channel, Queen. Good. That's good news. Yeah. I don't, like I said, I don't see nobody genociding them other than themselves. Who's mass killing them? That's what I keep trying to figure out. If you can figure out who's genociding them and also who took their country, please let me know, because I don't know either one of these things. I'm still trying to figure it out. Oops. Let me put this in here. Anytime you see a good story or you want to just drop me a line, that's my email right there. lisastories@gmail.com. That's the email you can use. File 11234. Unfortunately, people are going to be swirling until we're down to our last breath. They're just not going to stop. Okay. You can see all this stuff happening, and it just doesn't seem to faze them. Look, you would think the police killing would turn a lot of people off from the swirling, but it's just not. They're still out here doing it, and they don't seem to want to stop at all. I don't get it. I seriously don't get it. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to win any cause, it's not going to be because of swirlers or celebrities. We just don't have those people with us, plain and simple. It's going to be the people, like I said, that are putting the work in now, down on ground zero. We're going to be the champions at the end of the day. It's not going to be any of the people that you see, even the rich among us. It's not going to be them. Oh, hi, just one is Philly. All right. Ah, yeah, you're right, Black Adam. The Most High is genociding them. That is absolutely right. They just don't believe that judgment is upon them, and it really is. And I think it's to the point where everybody can see it. It's no longer, it can no longer be anything else. It just seems like every day they are taking one hell of a pounding. We should have purged the coons and the traitors a long time ago. We're the only group that don't deal with our traitors, and that is the biggest mistake that we have made. It's the biggest. Hi, Radler 99. Yeah, just glowing. I saw that video of, where I heard him just yelling. He got punched in the face. I saw that. I saw it. Tommy, I think he went to New York. He tried to get on the Breakfast Club, and they would not let him on. Yeah, I saw that. I'm just not interested enough in Tommy to even do a video on it. No, they don't have a spiritual side, Cosmic Light. That's why they don't see all of these bad things on them now as a problem. They don't see it as a problem, but it really is. And they're falling fast. They really are. Yeah, they are. They're going down pretty quickly. Best thing to do is stay out of their way. Stay out of their way, everybody. Yeah, they're never going to take responsibility. Look, you can't even get the president to even call them out. I mean, no, they're not going to take responsibility. That's why he didn't want them to take responsibility. That's why he said the hate was coming from all sides, just so he didn't have to put the blame on them. No, they didn't get the breath of life. That's right, Saria. We did. They did not. That's why they can never have everlasting life. Ever, because they never got the breath of life from the Most High. Rome is falling. You're right about that. Hi, First Harvest. Um, yeah. Yeah, they have pineal glands, but they're calcified. They're non-functional. Marcus Cook. They do have them, but they're not functional. That's the problem with them. You know, that's why they don't seem to feel things the way that we do. That spiritual side is just not there. They don't have that spirituality like we do. Well, how do you not insult the base, Philmon? I'm serious. How do you not? They killed somebody, 3 people got killed because of that one event. And, in the protest, whenever they have a protest, you notice it's always violent. It is always a bunch of brawling in the streets. Yeah, right. And then after that, Fit, Fierce, and Over 50, it's non-functional. It does not work. They have it, but it's non-functional. Yeah, there's a lot of people that say they believe the helicopter was shot down, but they haven't come forward with anybody so far. So, and they probably they probably won't. Well, Tommy better watch out. That might actually happen to him. Well, it could be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Usually when there's a big upheaval going on in the country, it's always something that's being hidden. I mean, that's really the history of America. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Yeah, well, you know what? Not many of these Indians that you look at today are real true Indians anyway. They're not. I mean, they shouldn't be calling anybody out. They said I was reading 90% of them are just Caucasians. So, you know, I already did my video on the $5 Indian, and I told you how they became $5 Indians. Yep, their 6,000 years is up. That's correct, Queen. It's over. When the Most High, let me tell you something, when the Most High turn those curses on you, you're finished. Look at what we went through with the slavery and Jim Crow and even all the cop shootings today. You know, we didn't get spared from any of the curses, and they're not even his people. You can imagine how bad it's going to be for them. It's already bad for them. They can't bring peace to the world because they are a chaotic people by nature. They can't bring any peace to the world. So every time they speak peace, it's really laughable. You know, they can't even tell you 1 year in America where it was peaceful. Not 1 year. They can't bring that to you. They are not the people that are the peacemakers of the world. They're just not. They're a chaotic people. They've been chaotic since they left the cave. I mean, and look at how they come to talk to you online. They always come with insults. They don't even know how to address you in a proper dialogue. As soon as I post this video, you niggers this and you niggers that, you nigger bitch and you nigger that. That's all. And they never say nothing different. They never say not one damn thing that's different. These people are just so they're too predictable, too damn predictable. You know, see, that's why it's not believable that they built everything, because they're trying to be everything in the world. They want to be who they are. They want to be the Indians. They want to be the Egyptians. You know, they just want to be too many things in the world that they think is great. So anything that has greatness to it, they want to try to attach themselves to it. And it just doesn't work. No, if they were progressive, we wouldn't be seeing the same form of racism for the last 5 centuries. We've been looking at the same form of racism. And hell, they even used the same racist words their forefathers used. Okay? They were saying nigger and all that stuff back then. They can't even come up with new racist names for you. They're using the same shit from back in the day. I actually, First Harvest Network, I actually saw their vice mayor. They have a vice mayor in Charlottesville, and he's a black man, about 30 years old. And I saw him on an interview yesterday. And he was talking about how they were, the alt-right were threatening to hang him. He was being threatened of being lynched. You would think that alone, they should not have been able to go in there and have a rally if they're threatening a government official. Why would you let them come in there and have a rally? But they did. I guess threatening a black man is just not a big deal. You're right, Black Lady of Chaos and Havoc. They're only superior in being recessive. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, lime juice, right? Lime juice and super soakers. But I still say y'all slay me every time I see Bitchard Spencer, not Richard, but Bitchard. I was Oh my God, I almost fell over when I first saw that on the screen. I said, you know, I'm going to be using that forever now. Bitchard. Yeah, they are. They are. When my grandfather, I don't know if I told all of you this, my grandfather got caught up in an incident with the Ku Klux Klan back during the time he was sharecropping in Irwin County, Georgia. He was working on a plantation of this white family down there in Irwin County. And the plantation owner where he was working in sharecropping had a son that was an alcoholic. And what he would do, he used to get drunk and go out in the field and start harassing the Black men and women that were sharecropping out there. You know, he was calling them monkeys. He was hitting them. He was being abusive. And my grandfather got sick of it one day and fought him back. After that happened, the Klan was looking for my grandfather. Now, this is how you knew the Klan and the police were one. When they showed up at my grandfather's house, he wasn't there at the time. He had to go, you know, people had to put him into hiding. When they showed up at the house, my grandmother was in the house, along with my grandfather's brother, and a few of my cousins were in the house at the time. When they kicked in the door and came in their house, it was both the police and the Ku Klux Klan that showed up for my grandfather. They came together. That's how I always knew my whole life the cops and the Klan were one. It's really the same thing. Well, when they couldn't find my grandfather, they took my uncle, his brother, and they took him out in the woods to try to get him to talk and tell where my grandfather was. He wouldn't tell them. They ended up beating him so bad, he had neurological problems for the rest of his life, and he couldn't walk right anymore. And even at the end of his life, he said that was the one thing he was proud of. He never gave my grandfather up to the Klan. He didn't care if they killed him. He wasn't giving the, you know, he wasn't going to give him up. At the time this happened, my family, we were living in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm a Philly girl. And my father had to go down south to get my grandfather and relocate them. And that's pretty much what saved his life. And my father had to buy a home for them and literally paid their mortgage for them every month until he paid the house off. So that's pretty much what happened. So, you know, my dislike started very early on in my life, and it has not gone away. I had white friends off and on throughout my life. The last time I had a white friend was 2007. After 2007, I got rid of all of them. I didn't want any more white friends. I got them all out of my life. I have none. Yeah, many do. Yeah, a lot of Black people, Yadessa, were ran out of the South. A lot. A lot of Black people were. That is the truth. You know, and see, they don't realize there's a lot of us still around that have been heavily impacted by their racism. You know, not only are they racist, they don't even apologize for their racism. It's almost like they're happy with the fact that they're a racist, you know, and that's the problem. That's the biggest problem with them. They are happy with their racism, and they feel like, okay, well, we know you've been through a lot, but get over it and move on. But look at how they're fighting all in the streets. Does it look like they're getting over anything? Why aren't they getting over shit? They're out here in the streets bloodying each other up. I don't see them getting over nothing. They have no right to open their mouth and say that to anybody. Yeah, I saw that. But you know what? He had no business being out there. I don't know what he was out there standing around for anyway. Yeah, just one's is Philly. We are a strong people. We always been a strong people. You have to be to go through everything that we've gone through. You have to be strong. Well, yeah, number one, if they didn't leave around where they came from, they wouldn't be going through so much problems now. I don't know any black people fighting to go live in a cave. Seriously, they would have definitely kept that place all white. Yeah, it's always going to be the coons surfacing. Even after Trump's speech, I saw the coons on mainstream media news defending Trump's speech, and there's nothing to defend. Nothing to defend. They sound like fools. Yeah, I agree with Phil from the Advice Show, and I've been saying that as well. We need to stay out of their problems. This is what's going on is a problem within their own group. We don't need to be involved in it at all. We got to stay out of it. There's no reason for black people to be brawling on the street at all. We need to stay out of their business. It has nothing to do with us. If I don't even quite understand this far right and far left BS, and I really don't care about it. I really don't care. To me, they're all white people. Right, left, side, forward, I don't care. They're all white people to me. And they will all come together to go against us. Yeah, Black Lady of Chaos and Havoc. Yeah, that's written as wow now. Wow. White on white. Whenever I see that, I now know what people are talking about. When they're talking about white on white crime, they'll just write wow in capital letters. That's white on white. We know that's white on white crime. Yeah, and Don King, that relic need to go somewhere and sit down. We don't need him to resurrect himself back up out here. I know Dalwa was talking about Dickinson. He was like, break that down now. Dick in son. He said because they did incest on their sons. I said, oh, wow. Yeah, pop, the pink on pink crime. Uh-huh. That is so true. Speaking of Black Spot, I still got my fundraiser going on. In fact, I got to reach out to the last few donors and see what they want and get their stuff out in the mail. Hey, Smithsonian, Smite by James Smith Jr. Yeah, they're gonna go because they won't do the right thing. That's the thing. You know, even the Bible says if they do the right thing, they can actually be spared. But they won't do the right thing. We already know this. It's been centuries now. They're not going to do the right thing. Period. You will not get reparations from them. They're not going to apologize. They're not going to do anything to make all of their wrongdoing right. It is just not within their nature to do it. She's here. She's actually kind of knocked out right now, sleeping. But she's in the room with me, but she's asleep. Yeah, well, their education, Marcus Cook, is just complete garbage. I can't believe we're still hauling our kids off to school for that shit, but people are. Oh, well, Chad can kiss my ass. He'll be hugging them all by himself. Yeah, they're pretty cool animals. Yeah, those groups have increased. Goddess Be Love, but they're taking a serious black eye this week. But I just wanted to show you all of the stuff going on because it's just piles and piles of articles out about Charlottesville. You know, they have tried to put on this act of perfection to the entire world, and it's just fallen apart at the seams. Well, I was never buying it anyway. They never came off as no damn perfect people to me. To me, they got more flaws than everybody else. That would be nice. File 11234. That would be nice if we can organize that. This would definitely be the time to organize and get land and start, developing our own black towns like we did back in the day. That would be real nice, you know, but we can't make it easy for them to take the towns down. You know, everybody would have to be packing and armed, you know. That was the problem back then during those times, and why they were able to torch 68 black towns, because our people just was not armed enough, you know, and that would have to be a goal too, that everybody is armed. Burwell defending Trump on CNN. Oh, please. There's no defending what this man did. This is why he can't move past what he did Saturday. You know, at this point, he would have been better off just shutting the hell up Saturday. You know, he did such a horrible job. He would have been better off just shutting his big mouth. Well, they were out in the street, Ferguson Factor 710. They were out in the street talking about killing Jews. So, so they were out there doing that. Oh. Two bitch ass cops. Oh no. No, I didn't hear about that. Yeah, Jews are white. I don't know why they trying to make them seem like there's something different. Those are white people. Okay, they are white people. They look white to me. They look very white to me. So I don't know what they're talking about when they try to make the Jews seem like there's something different. Well, Trump was notorious for being racist back in New York. That's right. The darkness awakened. He was notorious for being a racist back in New York, even before, long before he was president. I don't know why anybody would be surprised about Donald Trump's reaction. He remained covert about his racism for many years. Now he's just not, he's just blatant. Yeah, the Jews are what you would call the smarter white people, but they're all white people. They're just the smarter ones. Yeah, his father was very racist. You know, all of them were. I mean, I think his grandfather was a pimp. I mean, come on. But I don't know what it is, but this eclipse coming up is spooking the hell out of them too. I noticed that as well, y'all. It seems like whatever's going on with them, this eclipse is freaking them out. I don't know why, but it is. It seems to be. I've been. That's another thing I've been seeing in the news a lot online is the eclipse articles. They just seem to be hitting in high numbers every day. A lot of eclipse articles. Yeah, yeah. We are we are changing rapidly. That's true, Leonard. The Yehuda. We are. Everything's going rapidly right now. To us, it's going slow or it's not going fast enough. It's actually going very fast. It really is. I think some of us, we are just so tired of this oppression. It seems like everything is going in slow motion, but it really isn't. It's going pretty quickly. Yeah, there's an eclipse coming on the 21st of August. We're just days away from it. The 21st of August is the eclipse. And it's going to be right over the United States, of all places. It's going to be over this country. Yeah, true royal family. That is terrible. I know I've been threatened. I have been threatened by the trolls too. I just delete a lot of those posts and nobody really sees it, but I've been threatened. Yeah, well, they're never going to Angel Henry, they're never going to take responsibility for anything. We've seen this all throughout history. Even the ones I did a story on the lynching, 90% of the black men lynched in America were black businessmen. And the ones that attend the lynching said they weren't racist because they didn't do the actual killing. so they couldn't be racist. That's the stuff they were saying back then. So as you can see, no one's ever going to take responsibility. This is just their nature. This is who they are, and they have been showing us this for centuries. You know, you're not going to get human rights from an animal. It's just not going to happen. That's why I don't look for anything decent from white folks. I just don't. I don't know. You know, I don't know if that's what they feel, Cortez Miller, that the eclipse will destroy them, but they must know that there is something different. Love you too, Smithsonian Smite by James Smith Jr. They must know there is something different that's going to occur after this eclipse happened, because they are really freaking out over this eclipse. I've seen them freak out over other things. Love you too, True Royal Queen. I've seen them freak out in the past over other things, but not quite like this. They seem to really be freaking out over this eclipse. It must be something that's disturbing them on a level that we just don't understand about this eclipse. Yeah, we really do. We really do need to find a way to defend ourselves. And everybody don't necessarily have to have a gun to defend yourself. In fact, there's a article that I'm going to do a little later on a black guy that actually defended himself. We saw the 20-year-old black guy that got beat with pipes out there in Charlottesville. There's actually a black guy that defended himself from getting beaten by a group of white supremacists. I'm going to show you how he defended himself, and they all backed off of him. This one black guy got a group of white supremacists to back the hell off of him. And he didn't have a gun either. So I'm going to show that. I'm going to do that video a little later so you can all see that. Yeah, he had the aerosol can that sprayed fire. Oh, they got the hell away from him. They got the hell away from that black dude. I want to know where he got that can from. That's a damn good weapon. Aerosol can and a match. Okay. Oh, there you go. Well, just glowing. We got to have some relief every now and then. But thank you. Hello. All right, y'all going kind of fast here with the. Yeah, he did. He made a homemade torch. That's exactly what he did. And it worked like a charm. He didn't get beaten up out there. Although I don't agree with the fact that he should have been there. I still, you know, even with having that aerosol can that shot, and he shot out all that fire at those white supremacists, I still don't agree that he should have been there. You need an aerosol can and a match in order for that to work like that, the way that he had it. Aquanet and a lighter. Okay, gotcha. Oh, you have a wonderful day too, First Harvest Network. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I saw part of the Alicia C. I saw some of the protest online in Seattle, and that got pretty crazy. You know, like I said, they're not in any position to criticize Black people out on the streets anymore. They're not in any position to criticize you on burning a business down or anything else. Nothing is ever going to top the fact that they had 3 fatalities. 3. And some crazy nut that was within their group used his car as a weapon. They can't get past it, ladies and gentlemen. This is their black eye for good. Oh, it's definitely having a ripple effect, Alicia C. You know, like I said, the monuments are coming down faster than ever. It's almost like everybody's tearing them down after the Charlottesville incident. You know why? I don't think they want those alt-right people showing up in their states. I really think that's what it is. They seen what happened in Charlottesville, and people just don't want them showing up in their states, causing any more problems. Right? Already be fresh. Yeah, some lime juice. Yeah, that lime juice is awesome. Yeah, it's going to be 90 degrees in New Jersey tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised. Yeah, they are, you know, because they were out in those streets talking shit about Jews too. That's why I think a lot of this, um, with them getting their website taken down and all that, I think it has a lot to do with that, because they weren't just screaming against Black people out in the street. They were screaming against the Jews as well. And you notice after that, everything is being taken away from them, websites, PayPal accounts, and everything else they had. They're losing their jobs, and everything's happened. It's like a domino effect. Yeah, yeah. There's definitely, I believe, like you said, I believe there's a shift, a major shift that's about to happen after this eclipse. And they know it. That's why they are in full scale panic mode right now. There's a major shift that's going to occur. Well, you know, the neo-Nazi groups in the Klan, they've always spoke out against the Jews. It's really nothing new. They've always, I even when I was a child, I would hear them say things about the Jews. I was hearing it even back then. So, and believe me, it's been going on for a long time. And part of me know they're just sore that the Jews are running things and not them. Yeah, I saw that too. um, TTZ Chan 99. I did see that too. The Summer of Hate. They were advertising the Charlottesville, you know, all their rallies over the Summer of Hate. Well, you saw how they all jumped on Twitter after Trump's speech, and they thought it was a great speech. They were happy with the speech Trump gave, because he didn't specifically call them out. You see, Trump stayed on code. Yeah, they got, what was that, heat wave Lucifer? over there in Europe. Yeah. Well, Trump is still freaking out over that investigation over his Russia's involvement in his election. I think they just raided the FBI just raided his former campaign manager home. Just got raided. I think like last week they raided his home. So that investigation is far from over. There's a lot of people that think Trump is going to be taken out over that alone. Over Russia's involvement in the election. They think that alone will take him out. Yeah, Paul Manafort. Exactly. Well, I think what pissed a lot of people off, TTZ Chans 99, I think what pissed a lot of people off, something major was going on in the country, and he didn't feel the need to come and address the nation like a president is supposed to. So, people are now wondering, well, what are you going to do when the next tragedy strikes? There's right now, there's no confidence in him. And there's even articles out that saying people have lost confidence in Trump altogether. They just don't feel he's cut out for the job. I could have told you that before he won. I mean, how could he not be white supremacist when his father was? If his father was, that was taught in the household. Well, Hillary ain't no damn good either. She really is no big step up from Trump. And she's another warmonger. So no matter how you look at it, you're going to end up with war, whether you're with Hillary or Trump. I haven't seen a lot of the zombies lately, but I have seen them panhandling. There's a lot of white panhandlers out here now. When you go out, especially, in areas where they have a lot of heroin addicts, and you go out and there's a lot of white people out here panhandling, begging for money. Those are your junkies. Oh, TTZ Chance 99. You know what people were posting on Twitter? They were calling him David Puke. They weren't calling him David. They were calling him David Puke. Yeah, Angel Charles. They are all over begging for money now for their drugs. I'm pimping Hillary. Okay, Queen. Yeah. Yeah, they are responsible for the mass incarceration. Absolutely. And Naja Johnson, you're right. Yeah, the Alfred King plan is going to be carried out no matter what. And remember, he's part of the elite. Yeah, well, that Tashi D, there's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy around the corner at a meat market near my house. And he's standing there looking as European as can be, talking about he's part native. I was like, yeah, you're part $5 Indian. David Fluke, okay. No, they called him on Twitter, they were calling him David Puke. Vincent Simmons story? No, I haven't heard that one. Well, see, there should be, it makes me mad when they keep putting these coons on TV defending Trump speech on Saturday. After he gave that speech in front of the police officers talking about rough them up, he was talking about us. That's what he was talking about. He was telling them to rough us up. There should be no black person in this land defending Trump after that. They shouldn't have been defending him before, but really not now. Well, he's a caucasoid man. He can't age any other way but bad. You mean Diamond and Silk? Is that who you mean? You said the two sisters, Diamond and Silk. Yeah, those are sisters. I thought I didn't know if they were cousins. I didn't really know what they were, but I found out they are sisters. Yeah, well, unfortunately, coons are not going to go away, and that's only because we have not dealt with them. If we would deal with coons, the ones that are still coons would go silent. They would be too afraid to speak out against us publicly. Yeah, Diamond and Silk. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I recently found out they were sisters. I actually didn't know they were sisters until recently. Okay, when I get a chance, I'll look into the Vincent Simmons documentary that you're talking about, William James. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame how our people will go all out for the enemy, but won't fight for their own. I just don't get it. Well, the coons are going to defend him because at the end of the day, they're going to feel stupid for even supporting him. Yeah, I saw that about Omarosa, but I don't know why she keeps trying to come around black people when she's already sold out a long time ago. I don't know why these sellouts keep trying to come around the black community. I don't get it. I mean, she really needs to just go away. Yeah, we should be casting all the coons aside. They're dead weight. We don't need them. Thank you, William James. We don't need them. What good? Name one good thing a coon has done for the Black community. They don't do nothing for us. So as far as I'm concerned, the enemy can have them, can have every last one of them. No, see, Omarosa is a little slick ass. And I think that, she's staying on code for the White House. See, every time Black people try to talk about police violence on Black people, she comes with her, oh, my father and my brother were killed. She trying to mix in the Black on Black crime. I mean, I'm hip to what she's doing. And believe me, she's doing that to stay on code with her boss, Donald Trump. Oh my God, Jesse Lee Peterson. I don't mean no harm, but is that man even normal? I mean, seriously, when he opens his mouth and talks, he sounds slow to me. Is it just my ears? Well, she worked for the Clintons, and I really know she's crooked. Oh, really, Robert Cross? I know he got hit in the mouth because you could hear him yelling in the background on the video. But no, I didn't know he called the cops. Shalom, Jean. I saw your hello to me. Thank you. But I tell you what, yeah, for somebody talking a lot of shit, yeah, he did kind of wimped out there. Yeah, Angel Henry, a lot of people say that about Polite. That's what he did. He used the Black community for his own personal gain, and he's another one that talks a lot of shit about the Black community. He got a lot of his money from the Black community, and now he shits on the Black community. Angel Charles, are you serious? The cops never came? Wow. Wow. Now that I didn't know. I did hear him, Cap. I did. Yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah, 15-year-old. Yeah, he's very young, but he's a coon. That was coon training from home. I used to go to school with a girl like that, and we were in junior high school, and you know what she used to say to us all the time? She would come around Black folks and say, if it don't come from white folks, I don't trust it. She used to come around us and say that. And I looked at her like she was crazy. And then one day she just came one too many times and said that shit around me, and I cussed her butt out. She didn't come back no more. Hi, Troy Johnson. But yeah, I mean, and that was junior high school when that happened. We had one black girl among us talking about some if it don't come from white folks, I don't trust it. I was like, bitch, please, you better get your ass the hell away from me. And she used to always come around black people and make that comment. Yeah, well, they need to be destroyed in the womb. We don't need them kind of black folks around us. You did too, Cassandra. I can't form my mouth to say no mess like that. Oh my God. Yeah, Polite pimped a lot of people. I was never attracted to him or anything he had to say. I think I watched maybe a handful of videos with Polite in there, and he just seemed kind of. I was not attracted to nothing that he was saying. So I just kind of stayed away from his videos. I was not impressed. I just don't see what people were attracted to. What was it that drew people to him? I don't get it. You know, the few videos that I watched on him, I don't know. He did not reach me in any kind of way, definitely not on a spiritual level. You know what Polite came off as to me? Like one of the, you know how you go out and you see those street hustlers out there? He seemed like a street hustler to me. Like you see those guys out there hustling on the street. That's what Polite reminded me of. I can't relate to them either. So it's no way he was going to get me to relate to anything he was saying. Yeah, I watch a few of his videos, and sometimes when he gets into the black women bashing, I don't get into that. Oh, Willie James, Cynthia G blocked you. Um, I try to stay away from bashing black men and women. Number one, we're in a bad state, and this was not our doing in getting to where we are. We have been purposely divided. Remember, our division started with slavery, where they broke up the families. Remember, they took babies away from mothers and husbands away from wives, and it started early on. And they kept our divisions going. They had the breeding farms where the black men were forced to rape black women and impregnate hundreds of black women, one black man impregnate, so there were a lot of things done to us to keep us divided. And remember, when welfare came on the scene, the black man was not allowed to be in the home. But if you notice, any other group that was on welfare, they were allowed to have their man in the home. A white woman could be on welfare and have her man in the home, but it was done to black people. And I realized that a lot of our people think tough talk and tough love is going to straighten us up. It doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. Tough love does not reach the people in ways that you think. And the reason why it don't work is because we have been getting all that tough talk about how terrible we are from our oppressors. Now you got someone in blackface now doing the same exact thing that the oppressor did. Now, if it didn't work when the oppressor did it to us, is it going to work because somebody with a black face is putting us down? No. They claim it's tough love, or I'm only trying to help our people. stop helping. That's what I have to say to people like that are bashing the black men and bashing the black women. Please stop helping. That's not helping anybody. Please stop helping. Okay? It doesn't work. That's like calling somebody fat every day, and then you believe they're going to go on a diet and lose weight. It doesn't work that way. That's not the approach our people need after hundreds of years of oppression. I understand where they're coming from. A lot of it is frustration because, everybody wants us to come back together, which I'm praying that we will, and just stop dealing with the oppressors. But the tough love approach does not work. It doesn't work. Many people have tried it all through the decades, and it just doesn't work. In fact, those people always end up being despised. Right? You have Bill Cosby, you have Michael Jordan, who went out of his way to ignore the black community and also trash his own people. It just makes us resent those kind of people. You end up resenting them. You know. Yeah, we all like and dislike people for a variety of different reasons. But I don't feel the need to get up and start trashing my people. The only ones I might not like the most are the swirlers. I don't like them. And I never will like them. I just don't see how you can look at your group and hate the women so much that you'll marry somebody that have a history of oppressing you. That doesn't make any damn sense. It doesn't make any sense. Thank you, Cap. Thank you so much. It doesn't make any sense. But if you're not a swirler, then I'm cool with you. I just don't want to bash the men because I have a son. So if I bash black men, I'm essentially bashing my own flesh and blood too, aren't I? So I just don't want to get into that. I have a brother, I have a son, I had a black father, I have black uncles, I have black, so, I don't want to get into that. Our men have been put in a big disadvantage in this country for many centuries. If you're not willing to entertain the enemy, then it's pretty hard to get out of that situation. Yeah, they'll pay you money as long as you will entertain them. But if you're not willing to entertain them, then you're going to just be a peon. I just think that, and I don't want to hear trash talk about the women, because, the women in this country, we have been raped by all the men. You look even in Africa, the African women get raped by the Arab men. And in this country, we were raped by the white men, and, we were raped. How do you have a normal relationship when you never had a normal existence in the first place in this land called America? We never had a normal existence. So yeah, we're a dysfunctional people, and we're going to do dysfunctional things, and we're going to have dysfunctional relationship. They made us dysfunctional from day one. What do you expect? I'm not giving it a pass, but I certainly understand why it happened. So, for people not to take that into consideration when they open their mouth, I think is a huge mistake. That's a big error on their part. Yeah, you bring up, people bring very knowledgeable things, but we never had a normal life in America. Our life has always been dysfunctional. So for you to be mad at us for being dysfunctional people today is kind of silly. And these people that are mad at us, what have they done to help make us more functional? Not a damn thing. Nothing. So yeah, they bring a good point, and I do agree with some things that they say, but how do we be functional people in a dysfunctional place? We've been around the oppressor, and they are the most dysfunctional people on the face of the earth. So what did they give us? A life of slavery, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, and police shootings? And we're supposed to be normal through this shit? Come on. We're not going to be normal. I get frustrated with us too, but I understand where it comes from. You got to go all the way back to the beginning to where we are now. Like I said, you can wake up every day and call a fat person fat. That doesn't mean they're going to lose weight because you're being abusive verbally and calling them fat every day. It doesn't work like that. No, they're not. We do. The Bible said that we would, it said we would always try, some of us spiritually, that have that spirituality about ourselves. We would always yearn to find the truth. We would always crave for the truth, and many of us do. Oh yeah, I agree with a lot of things Cynthia G says. I do. I haven't watched any of her videos lately, but I did before a lot in the past, and been at a lot of her hangouts too. Yeah, that's the thing. The darkness awakens. We're hurt. We're hurt. We are a lot of our people act out because we are hurt. We are hurt. And many of our younger people don't understand why we get treated so badly, because many of them don't know the real history behind our oppression. And that's the thing. Black people are hurt. And that pain is going to come out some kind of way. But the thing is, we turn our pain on each other and not turn it on the enemy. That's the thing. But, we are hurt people. Many of us have seen all of this racism, and, even on the school level, our kids go to school and they instantly see the white kids get treated differently. They don't get in trouble like they do. The teacher talks to them differently. You see it from day one. You get indoctrinated like that. Yeah. And I think the best way to handle our oppression at this point is to school our people and get the truth out there. I think you will wake more people up with the truth than anything else. Sometimes people do tell the truth, but they come so harshly with the truth and so mean-spirited with the truth that you miss their entire message. And that was the problem with Bill Cosby when he tried to throw the tough love on the Black community. He came so harsh at the Black community that his message just got completely lost. Yeah, yeah. And we need the truth about ourselves, but we don't, you know, we don't need to be beat up anymore. I think we've taken enough beatings for all the centuries we've been here. But we can't lose sight that these things were done deliberately to us. When we came off of the slave ship, it was your white slave master that put the black woman over the man. That's when that started. It didn't start with no women's liberation. That was started back during slavery. So the people that talk all that, well, it happened back in women's the women's movement. No, that started, your slave master did that. He intentionally put the black woman over the black man. That was done by your slave master. No, they don't. And their parents don't know. That's why they're not being told the history, because their parents don't even know the history. Diamond Girl '08, you're right. The parents can't tell them because they themselves don't know what our history is. And unfortunately, everybody don't have the initiative to pick up a book or go online and find out. And another thing, we dropped the ball on not teaching our kids the psyche of our enemy. Our kids, we send them out in this world and they get taken by shock over the racism, or an incident happens and they get all caught up in an incident and end up losing their life because we don't tell them about what racism is in this country before they leave out of our homes. I don't care how young they are. Before they leave out of your house, they need to know about racism, what it is, and getting caught up in it. And that's what's happening to a lot of our young people. They just don't understand the nature of the beast that we're dealing with, and not enough black people are telling them about it. I told my son very young. Now, when he sees racism, he'll even tell me, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Too many of them are blindsided. And you can tell. We went from the slave field to being thrown out into the world. We didn't have any rehabilitation right after leaving the slave fields. We were not rehabbed. So all that dysfunction has been passed down through the generations. So no, as much as we love to come together, we're not going to have functional relationships. It's just the way it is. And some of us are bigger mental slaves than others. Yeah, you really got to teach them the truth. It's just no way around it. You got to teach them the truth. You want to hear something funny? When I was a kid, my parents actually had a talk with my brother and I when we were little. I told one of my cousins, and this is a true story. I told one of my cousins we were black people. Do you know he cried and ran to his mother and told on me? But see, that goes back to, even in my family, you got to teach your kids the truth about who they are. Yeah, it really isn't. It's really, wrong to send our kids out here unprepared for this wicked world. It's probably one of the most cruelest things you can do. It is funny, but it's sad at the same time. So me, I'm never surprised by the fighting that we do and everything that goes on as far as relationships with one another. You know, we all come from a different kind of dysfunction, but you can best believe it's dysfunctional. And our enemy knows we are dysfunctional, and they play on that part of our emotions that they know is dysfunctional. That's another reason why we have to separate and keep them away from our families as much as possible. Yeah, we do. We really do have to teach them about the real world, our reality, and the reality that we live in every day. It's not going away because we have children. You know, you got to watch the churches today. In fact, one of the defenders of Trump's speech was a black pastor. He was on TV defending Trump's speech from Saturday. Okay. And isn't Jesse Lee Peterson a pastor too? I think he is. I believe when I watched the interview he did with Phil from the Advice Show, he said he was a pastor. Yeah, my family taught me the truth too, especially my father. He did not let me go out in this world and not know the truth. He made sure I knew. But I went through the white friend thing and everything, and then I had a major falling out back in 2007 with a white friend, and that was a defining moment for me. I stopped dealing with them after that. So it's been 10 years since I had a white friend in my life. That was the last time. That last falling out, that was it. I knew from that point on I did not want them in my life like that anymore. Yeah, you know, Marcus Cook, we have so many problems, but like I said, you know, our dysfunction started from day one in America. We never got to live a normal life. So we are just going to be some screwed up people now. It's just the way it is. This is the hand we are dealt, but it certainly don't mean that we can't educate ourselves and learn the truth. I mean, some of our people just don't want to know anything. They just like their lives as it is, and they don't care to know anything else. And that's sad. All right, Ferguson Factor 710, thank you for coming. We have, Kendra Hill, we have embraced their religion. I'm just disappointed that we, you know, too many of our people are still practicing something that's fake. Anything that your enemy gives you, you should know something's wrong with it. And they just don't want to let go of it. you know, I believe most Christians know we are a spiritual people, but they are putting their spirituality into the wrong thing. And that's the problem. Right. You know, they want to hang on to white Jesus. And have you ever met a white man that was like that? That was like Yehoshua? Or like the one you read in the Bible? Have you ever met one like that, or even close to being that? That should tell you it's a lie. That should tell you it's a lie. You too, Jessica Allison. You have a wonderful day too. Yeah, Christianity, I think because our people just didn't have nothing back during slavery, that's why they kind of clung to the Christianity, because they figure, well, we got something, we got something. But I'm just sorry our people are so hooked on it to the point where it keeps us divided, and that's a shame. Take care, Troy. And y'all get over there and check out Troy's art. This man got some awesome ass art on his website. Troy, before you go, put your website on there. Type your website in. If you're still here, type in your website, because he's got some beautiful artwork you need to see. Maybe he left, but it's really his name. I think it's www.troyjohnson.com. But you can go out there. He has some beautiful, beautiful artwork. Black art. Oh no, white Jesus, we should have kicked his ass to the curb. You know what my son and I did? My mom had a whole bunch of white Jesus in her house. We took them all out in the backyard and got a baseball bat and tore everything up. and we threw white Jesus where he belonged, in the garbage. But that's what you're supposed to do with fake idols. When you see them, you're supposed to destroy them. You're supposed to destroy fake idols. Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that, some of them know the truth and they just still want to cling to Christianity. I've come across some Black people, Radler 99. I come across some that knew we were Hebrew, but they still get up every Sunday and go into Christian church. But they know we are the people of the book, but they still want to cling to their Christianity. And that's really sad, but I know quite a few like that. Yeah, right. Queen, you're right. They're all over. They saturate themselves everywhere. They make us look at them whether we like it or not. Yeah, you can give them a letter, Marcus Cook, and say it's against your religion for your kids to be shot for religious reasons. They can't get any shots. But I think you got to put it in letter form and present it to your school, or even call the Board of Education. They should be able to guide you on how that's done. But yeah, you are allowed. I know for public schools, you are allowed to enter a letter saying for religious purposes, you know, you don't want your kids getting shots. It's against your religion. Well, yeah, I can't stand those paintings of white Jesus either. That's why I don't have them in my house anymore. I got that shit out. Troy Designs. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Troy. Yeah, everybody get out there and visit that website. He's got some awesome Black art out there that you have to see. And he did this work himself. It'll blow you away when you see his work. It is unbelievable. Yeah, I remember that Good Times episode too, Angel Charles. I saw that years later though, where Black Jesus, it was Ned the Wino. Yeah, I believe you can even find letters. I know Mr. Hebrew 1. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he provides a letter. Or you can just look online and you would be able to find a letter. You know, for religious reasons, you don't want your kids getting any kind of vaccinations. And there's really nothing they can do about it if it's against your religion. They can't do nothing about it. Yeah, woo. I mean, we were the ones that found them up in the caves and helped them walk upright and wash themselves. And we did all that stuff. And then they turned on us. And this is the end result of it, what we're looking at today. Yeah, that's why I'm saying call the Board of Education and find out how it works in your township. And they should be able to tell you. The Board of Education, they should be able to tell you about vaccines and what you would have to present to them. And they should let you know. See, I didn't go through all of that. I homeschooled my son. So, you know, I didn't go through all of the letter thing, and I got him out. I did not like his teacher, and I didn't like what he was being taught, so I got him out. He had some old white double talking man teacher, and I didn't like him. So I got my son out. Yeah, you know, it's a direct path to autism, those shots. You don't want those shots. Who put them there? They put themselves there. Remember, they got kicked out. They got kicked out of Africa. They were causing too many problems and too many divisions. They got kicked out of Africa. But you can still see pictures of their caves. You just have to type in like Mount Seir, and it'll show you the caves all over the mountain. It's a screenshot. You can look at the screenshots of all the, you know, the holes in the mountains. Those were their caves, still there. Mount Seir. You know what? When even before I knew about, you know, the hair like wool and Yehoshua having the skin that was like burnt brass. Every time I looked at that white Jesus picture, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. You know how you look at something and it's like, something is really off about that. And that's how I always felt when I looked at that picture. Something didn't feel right. And something didn't feel right about praying to something that looked totally different from me. It was weird. I know when I homeschooled my son, all I had to do was write a letter to the Board of Education and take it up there saying I would be homeschooling and being fully responsible for the education of my son. And that was it. I didn't have to go back again. That was it. Yeah. All right, y'all. It was a pleasure coming together with the family this morning. And I'll be putting a few videos out later on today. But I just thought it would be fun to come together with all this stuff going on in the country, all this turmoil, and just spend some time together. So I'm going to end our hangout, but be on the lookout for my next videos and make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you know when my videos are on YouTube. And on that note, you guys have a wonderful day. Shalom.